Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from New Glarus Brewing Company out of New Glarus, Wisconsin. This is another beer from their R&D series. You can tell that by the logo or the label, and it says R&D right there. So I think I actually did a different vintage of this, but each one is a different beer and a different blend. So I consider them different beers. That's why I'm giving it a separate rating. But this is vintage 2017, and that's the name of it. It's not New Glarus blah 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 vintage 2017. And I love this label. I think I've said this before, how it just has all the brewing stats on it here and then a little description. Because none of it's really long. It's really easy to go through and read. So, batch size, it doesn't matter. So this was brewed in. Oh, it's weird the way that's listed. So it's a blend of two different things, I guess. 10, 14, 17, and 116. And it was. Oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's really. I don't understand. That's weird. It says brewed 10, 14, 7, and then 1-16. Oh, that's an arrow. Oh. Oh, okay. No, I get it now. Sorry. It's very, very weird the way. See, it's in cursive and it's small. It's hard to read. So it's a blend of different beers, but it says brewed October of 2014 to January of 2016. So it's beers that were brewed in between that time period. So that makes more sense because it is a Gueuze. It's a blend of three different vintages. This was bottled on April 26, 2017, 5%, 24 IBUs. And the description says, naturally occurring spontaneous fermentation creates this American Gueuze. Coleship brewed and wild cave aged. Dan's masterwork blend of 3 years brewing is sour, citrusy, horsey, and vintage worthy. So, it sounds pretty similar to the other ones they've done, but again, they've all been different from what I've had. I mean, not that different. They're all still relatively the same style, but they are different blends of different brews. So let's crack it open and see what we got. Well, there's a big. It looked like there was going to be a big gush, and it's not because I saw all these. As soon as I opened, all these bubbles were building in the bottle. Man, I could smell that from here. So as you can see, it pours a somewhat of a translucent golden color. You can see through it, but it is still semi-cloudy. With it originally started as like a finger's worth of whitehead. It's starting to dissipate a little bit. It's pretty. It's kind of rocky, but it is sticking around. You know, it's kind of funny because earlier tonight I did a review of a beer from Brewery Bravana, and don't get me wrong, they're doing some very, very, very good American wild ales. But then I get something like this, and it makes me kind of pull the reins back and realize that how good these guys are. I mean, I always know that they're good, but in my opinion, they just have their own house character that's in a league of its own. So I'm getting a lot of like cheesy funk. Definitely a lot of oak, a little bit of leather, and like overripened apples. And it just kind of smells like a sharp blue cheese character. There is also like a small aroma of acetic acid, like vinegary, which is odd for these guys, but I feel like it's very minimal. There is a little bit of like wet rock minerality to it. It has a pretty good depth to it. Wow. So that's interesting. It's way less tart than I was expecting it to be. It's a lot more dry than some of the other variations I've had of this. So it has that minerally funky character, but then it's it almost has like this floral, it's not hoppy, but like this floral perfumey character, and it finishes a lot more dry than I remember some of the other ones. Again, it's been a little while since I had the 2016 one. And it does have some more of that like overripened apple character. I will say that this one seems to come off as a little less complex than I remember the last one that I had. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. This one seems to be like, I mean, who knows what their intentions are? You never really know other than what description is on the on the label. But and I know on here it says horsey, which there definitely is some funk, and there is some citrusy character to it too, but for me it just seems like significantly more dry than some of the other ones I've had. I don't know if the Brett that's in it took hold more than generally does. I don't know that there's bread in this, but I'm completely assuming that's what's providing most of the funk. Yeah, so I would say this one's probably a little more approachable for the average beer drinker. But it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of disappointing based on some of the other vintages that they've done. And by saying it's disappointing, that is in no means saying that it's not a good beer. I still think it's very good, and I would absolutely buy more of this. But I'm just 100% comparing it to the other vintages that I've had and a few other beers in the R&D series that I liked better than this. But I will say I have to give them credit that each one of these I felt has been significantly different, and each one kind of takes on its own thing. So what I find interesting about this is not only is it more dry, but it really has like this bright like earthy, but not funk earthy, just like earthy floral, like floral and perfumey bouquet. Which is pretty nice. I prefer more of like the minerally character, but this itself is still very, very good. I really do like it a lot. And as you can see, I mean, I've drunken a good bit of it just in the 10 minutes or so that I've been doing this review, so it's definitely really tasty stuff. But I like to... I just have such high expectations for these guys. If I have something that's like slightly lower than my favorite beer from them, or a couple favorites, then I'm gonna say I'm disappointed. But if I didn't know anything about New Glarus and I opened this up and I drank this, I'd be like, this is freaking great. So my disappointment is only in comparison to how great some of their other R&D beers have been. It's not disappointment in general with the beer. This is very, very good, and it's still absolutely a buy for me. I think they're like $15 for a 500 milliliter, which, in my opinion, is absolutely worth it. Always great things from these guys. I can't speak about them enough. I mean, I like the R&D stuff the best, but they do so many other just really simple beers that are absolutely fantastic that you can easily get. So, not just this one. Look out for this, but any R&D series or even any New Glarus in general. If you see it, buy it. It's always worth it. They never mess up anything. They're just, in my opinion, one of the best brewers in the world. So, yeah, I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.